If you saw my last video, you'll know that I was sick. I'm still sick. It's been like a week and a half, but I will sound probably very nasally, and my ears are also very blocked, so if I sound insane, that's why, and I do apologise. But as you can see from the title of this video, this is my first week's summary of Cringetober. If you don't know what Cringetober is, you might have instead heard of Inktober or Goretober. It's essentially a challenge where you get a list of prompts, one for each day of October, and you basically just draw a piece for every prompt. Cringetober is this list that I'll pop up right on the screen here, and for the first prompt, which I believe was screenshot redraw, as you can see I redrew a screenshot from Game of Thrones. People probably don't know that I'm obsessed with Game of Thrones, but it's essentially just people, warrior cats. Like, it's like if warrior cats was good. You can obviously tell that so much of Warrior Cats is inspired by Game of Thrones, it's kind of funny. But yeah, I think the show is terrible, but I love it. And this screenshot has Bran, Jon, and Rob. I'll pop up my designs for some of the cat versions of Game of Thrones that I've made. But I thought, why not? I'm not drawing people. I'm gonna just make it even cringier and draw them as furries. Who really cares? My designs for them aren't really furries, they're just normal cats, but it didn't really fit the screenshot to draw them as cats, so they are like furry versions of them. But I didn't mention it as it was happening on the screen, but it's probably happening right now actually. I struggled so hard with Jon's face, it was actually ridiculous, and I did change up his design colours a tiny bit from my original ones. But yeah, I had a lot of trouble with this, and it's probably my least proud prompt that I've done so far, but I like it. I mean, I added over the blue stuff that all Game of Thrones has. It's just like a very blue overlay, and I used the background from the actual show. But that's all I really have to say about the first day. This week has been good. I originally started very late, so I had to do 2 prompts a day for about 3 days, but now I'm caught up, and it's been nice to kind of not take it too seriously. But yeah, this was the first prompt that I drew, screenshot redraw. The next prompt I think was tsundere, which I think is a trope of someone who's kind of like on and off interested and kind of aloof with their love interest, and I don't really think I followed this, but I just drew Ashura because he's crazy. He's probably more of a yandere if I was going by those tropes, but any excuse to draw Ashura, I like it. I'm not really too bothered about following the prompts exactly. If I can make something that allows me to get a prompt out for the day, I'm going to draw it. This did really well on Instagram, where I've been posting all of the prompts. If you want to follow me, it's GummyWorms, the same user as here. But a lot of these prompts you'll see I use this same customized, kind of more dilute version of the rainbow gradient. And this art is no different. It's in the background, obviously. And a lot of them you'll see through this week has had this background. But yeah, I'm happy with the pose. I'm really happy with the pause. I kind of got paused down quite well in a lot of these prompts. I don't have a lot to say about him. It is just Ashura. I am obsessed with him. I hate him. I think he sucks. But, you know, I love him. He's like the most iconic warrior cat character ever. I used, not really my design, but I used the original, back in the day, Floatfoot Warrior, kind of like emo AMV design for him, but obviously with my kind of shapes, where I tend to give Ashura round ears and that kind of thing. But, you know, I got the emo hair dye streak, I've got the 2-tone dots on him, I did give him a darker chin and like paws and stuff just to make things more interesting, but, you know, he's got the red eye bags, he's looking insane. I'm quite happy with it. I've been shading pretty well this week. It's been kind of fun to shade everything and put a little more effort into all of the drawings, because really normally I just kind of scribble my OCs and then that's the only art I do in the week. But yeah, I'm quite happy with him. I don't really have a lot else to say, but we'll just keep watching as it plays out. There's a slight flash warning there, but I'll have put that up on the screen hopefully. But yeah, that is adding just some blood at the end there, and this was my second prompt of the week with Ashura. My third prompt, I believe, was oversized prop, and I didn't follow that really, but I was like, okay, I'm going to draw a character with a prop. I'm going to draw Clepool, and if people don't know who Clepool is, she is like a early days warrior cat fandom creepypasta, where it's basically Leafpool and she thinks, oh, Leafpool is such a loser name, I'm going to name myself Clevepool because I love my cleaver, which is the weapon that she's holding right now. It's like a meat cleaver, like what they used to chop up meat. But yeah, it's basically just Leafpool going around and killing like Bramblestar and I think Cloudtail and Squirrelfly, and it's like a really edgy creepypasta that if you're not super well versed in the fandom, you probably won't know, and I'm sure a lot of new fans won't really know what the hell the Clevepool is, but I think she's amazing and iconic, and everyone on Instagram seemed to really appreciate that I drew her. I spent a lot of time on this line art. I did something that I don't do very often, where I kind of did it all one weight, and then I went over and tapered all the ends for it. So I was really quite proud of the line art. It took me probably over an hour, I think, and you can see it takes up a lot of the speed paint time, really. But yeah, I'm happy with the anatomy and stuff on this. I really like the paw that I did. You'll see later I'm happy with the lighting. I kind of made it all red and like glowy kind of thing. But the design that I used for Clevepool is just like her original kind of design, because it was made by King Rory, who is a Warrior Cats YouTuber that doesn't really post anymore. But I really used to like their videos, and they had like an original series that I really liked. So if you ever feel like checking out their channel, not that they're still active, it's kind of just a nice like blast from the past. But they did make art for the original Clepool, where she's kind of just like the classic brown, and she's got the eyes that I drew that are kind of just like soulless, kind of just like weird eyes. But I followed basically that design. You'll know that I normally use a more kind of like beige cream kind of thing for Leafpool, and I make her look like a deer because I just think I'm just obsessed with Leafpool. I talked about it in my last video, and again, if you haven't seen my Tokyo Leafpool Crowfeather video, I'm obsessed with her. But yeah, I'm finally into the colouring. This is the original design that King Rory kind of used. I didn't add any of the stripes because with the angle, I could not get it right. But I like that she has the just normal brown. It's just like such a standard brown, and then white highlight areas, like her white underbelly and stuff, because I never do this. I always tint browns like purple or red, and I never really use white as the main undercolor. I will sometimes use it as like a little blaze on the nose, or like speckles, or like just make the mouth area, the muzzle, kind of white, but everything else would be kind of cream. So it really just makes it feel kind of authentic in my eyes. I'm really happy with how it turned out. But obviously, yeah, credit to the original design and story and concept of Clepool to King Rory. It's kind of a funny thing to read. I wouldn't recommend if you're too young reading it, just because I don't know if you'll find it upsetting or that kind of thing. But there is a very good fandom wiki, fandom villains wiki page on her that kind of summarizes it in a less gory way. But that was day 3 of oversized prop with Clepool, and yeah, I was really happy with the red lighting and the kind of glow. Day 4, the prompt was Fursona/Fursuit, and I did a couple sketches that I really wasn't happy with, so I decided I'm just going to draw like a weird little chibi version of a few of my Fursonas. So I picked 6 of them. The top row is Worm, who obviously is my mascot, Everett, who is my wolf Fursona, Kipper, who is my red panda Fursona, Doggy, who is like my new, like, just normal, I just wanted a dog, like a weird dog that kind of is me, kind of like a true Sona, like a proper, as me as a furry's gonna get, kind of Fursona. Egg Speckle, who is like a real OG, like I was probably 16 when I made them. They're like one of my first classic Fursonas from back in my proper like prime of drawing kind of era. And then the last one is Lucky, who is one of my 2 Pokesonas, who is a Luxray, with just slightly different colours and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm really happy with this piece. I think it's very cute. You'll see the return of the rainbow gradient background. But I just think it really showcases kind of my designs and a few of my Fursonas, and it was just kind of like a very self-indulgent, personal kind of drawing. Here with Doggy down in the corner, I completely made up his body design on the spot here, and you'll see that when I add speckles on his body of different colours, I then go back and add them to the ears, which isn't originally in his design that I've drawn, because I've only drawn headshots of him. But in the future, when I draw headshots, he will have those little speckles. But I'm really happy with his design. and his kind of like weird leopard spots. He's just a little freak. And then X-Speckle's very simple, and so is Lucky, so there's not much to say about their designs really, especially because Lucky is just a Pokemon that already exists. But yeah, that was the, I think, 5th day prompt of Fursona. Day 6 was Gijinka. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's basically, it's seen a lot with Pokemon, where you basically take an animal character and turn them into a human. I really didn't want to do this prompt, and originally I was actually going to take a human and make them into an animal and just do like a reverse version. But this is a very quick thing because I did trace over an old sketch that I had that I'll pop up on the screen. But this is my main OC Cow as a human. If you're familiar with my channel, you'll know who Cow is. He's the main character in my animated series Amoside that's coming out. And actually, exciting news, I have fully plotted out Amoside now, and I'm just writing the actual scripted dialogue and that kind of thing for Amoside, so that will definitely be written, I would say, by the end of 2024, and then I can start getting voice actors and animating and drawing and getting music and all of that for it next year, which is really exciting, so hopefully people are looking forward to that. But this is Cow as a human, little weirdo. The next prompt was Unnatural Eye Colour, and another Amoside drawing. This is obviously Shark, because she has pink eyes and I'm obsessed with her. I think this is my favourite that I've done during this week of prompts. I wasn't really too sure on it when I was kind of staring at it, but now that I look back on it, I'm really happy with it. I love the colours, I love the expression, I'm obsessed with her face. She's just insane. And I'm glad that I managed to draw her kind of looking how I want, because Shark is a character that you may have noticed that I draw completely different every single time I draw her. But I got her in a more consistent way this time. And I like the hot pink blood and stuff. I just kind of did it pink because it's fun. And because the eye colour obviously is pink. Sorry if there are any weird pauses that are cutting out. I keep coughing because I am so sick, but also talking is just kind of making my voice kind of dry, so I have been having to cut out some coughing. But yeah, it's just a very pink piece. I think I did quite well in the lighting at the end to draw attention to her face, which is my favourite part, so that's pretty good. I really am just obsessed with her in this drawing. Yeah, I tried a little different thing throughout, where I was just kind of doing different lighting and stuff, and decided to throw it away, but I ended up just putting a glow around the outside. But yeah, I'm really happy with it, and that was the Unnatural Eye Colour prompt. Day 7, the final prompt of this video and this week, is a crossover, I believe. So I drew Ravenpaw and Cow, kind of because they're both black and white, and they're kind of both just like anxious cats. I don't know, it just came to mind. So there's not a lot to say about it. It's just like they're just looking at each other like, this guy's a freak. This guy's a freak. Because Ravenpaw's probably thinking, because Cow literally, he's just a weird little freak. And then Cow is probably just like freaking out because it's a new person that he doesn't really like. I am very annoyed with myself whenever I look back at this, because I've noticed recently in the drawings I've been doing of Cow that for some reason I've been leaving the end of his tail black when he's actually meant to have like it's meant to plume out white at the end, and he's literally on my desktop wallpaper. So I don't know how I messed that up, but yeah, you'll see the end of his tail was actually meant to be white, but it is not. So yeah, but my Ravenpaw design, obviously he's a skunk. I draw him, he's a cat, but I draw him as a cat that looks like a skunk. And he's one of my favourite Canon Warrior designs. I just think it's quite fun. Obviously the purple eyes of SSS Warrior Cat Fame. I give him a little non-binary flag, not bandana, because that I just headcanon him as gay and non-binary. But yeah, that is the 7th day prompt for Cringetober. I'll do a little slideshow of all of the prompts from this week, but I'm hoping to do a video probably every week of just compiling the 7 prompts that I've done. I'm really hoping that I hold myself to it and actually make the videos, because I really want to get back into making videos. I thank you all for the support on my last video, and I will be doing audiobooks as a lot of you requested, but I'm just going to wait until I'm less nasally and not really sick, because I don't want to have it sound weird and be hard to listen to, especially if it's an audiobook. But yeah, I will hopefully have some more videos up very soon. Thank you for all your support, and happy Cringetobering.